Welcome to Unbox channel. It's Maths with your favorite teacher, Dineo Tabile Sokwan. In today's lesson, we are going to add within 1000 with regrouping and 100 tens and ones. We are going to add within 1000 with regrouping and 100 tens and ones. Now, before we do any examples, we are going to start with our maths vocabulary, okay? That is, explain all the words that we are going to use in our lesson. The first one is add. What is to add? To bring two or more numbers or things together to make a new total. Add. To bring two or more numbers or things together to make a new total. Okay? Second one, regrouping. What is regrouping? Okay? Moving an amount from one calculation to another so that it is easier to do the calculation. Regrouping. Moving an amount from one calculation to another so that it is easier to do the calculation. Okay, so I've simplified it for you in ways that you can be able to remember what regrouping is. Okay, so you can just say regrouping is sharing and borrowing sugar. I'll explain, but sharing and borrowing sugar, that is regrouping. Okay, I have a song to help you remember. Okay, but I have to warn you, I cannot sing to save my life. Okay, so if anything happens to your screen, okay, so the lyrics are: add means put together, subtract means take away. When you add, you share some sugar. When you subtract, you borrow sugar. Okay, add means put together, subtract means take away. When you add, you share some sugar. When you subtract, you borrow sugar. So I'm going to try sing the song. Remember, I cannot sing, okay? But I'm really going to try, and you guys have to join me after the first one so that we all do it together. Okay, now in 3, 1, 2, 3. Add means put together, subtract means take away. Add means put together, subtract means take away. Or when you add, you share some sugar. When you subtract, you borrow sugar. Let's go. Add means put together, subtract means take away. Add means put together, subtract means take away. When you add, you share some sugar. When you subtract, you borrow sugar. Let's go. Add means put together, subtract means take away. Add means put together, subtract means take away. Or when you add, you share some sugar. When you subtract, you borrow sugar. Okay, good job. We have place value table also. Place value table. Now, the value of where a digit is in the number. The value of where a digit is in the number. On this side, I have an example of a place value table. It is a table with 4 columns. Now, I want you to think of a place value table as a house. You know, we all know that houses have different rooms, right? The same thing with the place value table, okay? Each room has a value. Each room has a value. One belongs to the thousands, the other one belongs to the hundreds, another to the tens, and the ones as well. So think of it as a house with different rooms that belong to different values. Remember, we have the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. Please remember this table because it is something that we are going to use in our calculations. So we are going to use the place value table in our calculations. So please remember what a place value table is and what it consists of, right? It is a table with 4 columns that have different values. That is where each digit is in the number, right? The value of which digit is the value of where each digit is in a number. Okay, so yeah. Now that you know what addition, regrouping, and a place value table is, we are going to move on to our examples. And for the first part of our examples, we are going to use base 10 blocks. If you're wondering what base 10 blocks are, I have them on my board, okay? And another example of a place value table. So remember I said, think of it as a house with different rooms. In this case, it has 4 different rooms which belong to the thousands, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. Okay, our base 10 blocks come in different colors. We have the blue block, which represents the hundreds, the blue block which represents the hundreds. So one blue block equals to 100. One blue block equals to 100. We have an orange one which represents the tens. The orange one represents the tens. So one orange block equals 10. One orange block equals 10. We have another one, a small white one, which represents the ones, and one small white block equals 1. Okay, please remember that, because now we are going to move on to our calculation using the base 10 blocks. For our first example, we are going to add 112 and 38. 112 and 38. Now let's go back to our base 10 blocks. Remember we said one blue block equals 100. Okay, one blue block equals 100. And we said one orange block equals 10. One orange block equals 10. So 110 equals 110. Okay, so two white blocks equals 2. Two white blocks equals 2. 110 add 2, that's 112. So that's our first number, 112. Looking at the second number, we have 3 orange blocks. Remember, that's 3 tens. So that's going to give us 10, 20, 30. That's 30, okay? And we have 8 white blocks, that is 8. Okay, so we have 30 and 8, that's 38. That is 38. Okay, that is our second number. So we are going to add, using our base 10 blocks, 112 and 38. This is the first thing that you do when you're adding. You do a place value table. You do a place value table. The second thing that you do is start adding from your ones. You start adding from your ones. Okay, what is 2 add 8? 2 add 8. 2 add 8 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is when we regroup, because 10 cannot go under the ones as it is a 2-digit number. Regrouping, we said regrouping is moving an amount from one calculation to another in order for the calculation to be made easy. Okay, now I said in my simple terms, that is sharing sugar. Remember, when we add, we share some sugar. This is when we share some sugar. A simple way you can do it is have another place value table where you have space. This is where I have space, right? And remind yourself this every time. The ones share their sugar with the tens share their sugar with the hundreds, and the hundreds share their sugar with the thousands. Okay, our answer is 10. We're going to put it here. Okay, the 0 will go to the ones. The 0 will go to the ones. And remember, we are sharing 10. We are sharing 10. So we'll take our 10 and put it under the tens. We are going to take our 10 and put it under the tens. Now we have 2 tens. We have 2 tens. Add 3 tens. We have 2 tens, add 3 tens. Okay, that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tens. 38 does not have hundreds. 38 does not have hundreds, therefore we are going to put a 0 here. Okay, so this is 100 100, add 0, that's going to be 1. Okay, and our answer is 150. Our answer is 150. Now we are going to add 154 and 48. 48 does not have hundreds, therefore we put a 0 there. Put a 0 under the hundreds for 48. And remember, one blue block equals 100. 5 orange blocks equals 50. 100 add 50, that is 150. Add 4 of these white blocks and you have 154. 4 orange blocks give you 4 tens. 4 tens equals 40. Okay, 40 add 8, that's 48. First number is 154. The second number is 48. Now we are going to add these two using our base 10 blocks. Remember, I said the first thing that you do is a place value table. That is the first thing that you do. Secondly, you start adding from the ones. We are going to add 4 and 8. We are going to add 4 and 8. Now let's count our blocks to see how much that gives us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 add 8 equals 12. Remember, this is when we regroup. Okay? I said to you, in order for you to regroup successfully, you have to have another place value table. And remind yourself always that the ones share their sugar with their tens. The tens share their sugar with the hundreds, and the hundreds share their sugar with the thousands. Okay, keep that in mind every time. Okay, and we are going to regroup 12. We write it here and it's 12. Okay, where does the 2 go? The 2 goes to the ones. And where does the 110 go? The 110 goes to the tens. Since we are regrouping. Now we have 6 tens, add 4 tens. We have 6 tens, add 4 tens. Okay, we are going to count how much that gives us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are going to count in tens in order for us to know what the answer is and why we are regrouping this number. So we are going to then count in tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, this is when we regroup. So 10 tens give you 100. 10 tens give you 100. And if you're going to regroup, remember, tens share their sugar with the hundreds. You are going to have another place value table and say hundreds here and say tens here. Remember, 6 tens and 4 tens give us 10 tens. Okay, this is why we have the 10 here. Okay, where does the 0 go? The 0 goes to our tens. And where does the 100 go? We share the 100 and we put it under the 100. Okay, this is how we have regrouped using our base 10 blocks. Okay, now we have 200s. We have 200s, add 0. 200s add 0, that's 2. And our answer is 202. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.